Back to head into the game now. Once again, I do just need to try and check we don't have loads of bugs or anything on the map, and everything looks fine. I can see 2 boars, main gold. Everything looks fine there. 2 boars. This looks good to me. Right. So we have Canyonlands, as I was saying, version 4. We have Dogao in grey as the Mongols and Vodka in yellow as the Spanish. Just looking at the map in general, just to show you, it is very much Highland-like, although you can cross over in so many different places that it's not necessarily worth galley rushing the waters so much. I mean, it would be potentially worth docking if you were able to secure it in some places where there's lots of shorefish. If you're playing Black Forest, you'd probably take advantage of a lake with 5 shorefish, but on this kind of map, it could probably not worth it. I would say that this kind of map is more likely to result in a post-Imperial Age fight, which is kind of reflected in the player's civilization choices as well, because we do have Mongols versus Spanish. Obviously, Mongols are very fast and very strong civ in the early game, but then they kind of drop off in mid-game in the Castle Age until becoming strong again in the Imperial Age. And Spanish, I'd say, is a civ that probably start out not as strong, but then get stronger later on. As the game goes on, they get stronger. So I think we could be in for a slightly longer game here, unless Dogao goes insanely aggressive. But let's have a look at the maps as well. I don't think that on a map of this size it's quite as crucial as it would be on like a tiny 2-player Arabia map, for example. But you can see that if Dogao does come under some early pressure, then he will have good resources to fall back on in the back of his base with wood lines and main gold both towards the back. Other than that, one of his goals is kind of forward and harassable, and another one actually, so both of his second and third goals are quite close to the river, which could allow Vodka to gold starve him a little bit later on potentially, if Vodka is able to cross over to the other side. Stones are important for Mongols, of course. He's got 1 in the back, and this other one looks pretty safe as well. Meanwhile, just having a look at Vodka, he's got good wood lines all around him pretty much. I'd say he's got a slightly more defensible map than Dogao has. Main gold is way out towards the back actually, along with the main stone and secondary gold. So I'd say Vodka has a bit more of a defensible map and a few more of his resources protected at this point. So potentially he's going to be slightly less vulnerable to pressure in the earlier and, well, probably the mid game, since we're talking about getting out to the second and third golds. But yeah, the map does look big because it is a 3-player size. Some of these maps feel small and cramped even though it's a 3-player size because of the design of them, but this one is definitely a very big feeling map, and as I said, I chose that for a reason, because we've seen a lot of players going for home maps which are very kind of rush based and see the players starting close together. I've seen Civil War used quite a bit, which is one where there are 2 small islands on a lake that's made of shallows in the middle of the map, and the players can rush it from no distance at all, and all the extra land is on the outside, and we've seen very fast games on those sorts of maps. So I wanted to or try to promote a game in Call to Arms which went to sort of post-Imperial Age, because we've only had 1 or 2 of those, I would say. But yeah, on a map like this, it's certainly more likely that we'll see fast castle style builds, I should think. A lot of players have picked Mongols in this tournament with the intention of doing tower rushes and things like that. We've seen Tato and I think it was NBL, I can't remember. Somebody anyway else did that. But I think in this case the pick of Mongols for Dogao will be very much focused on the late game, with it being such a big map. See that both players is just on collecting food and wood for now. I can't see anyone who is going early onto stone or anything like that, so won't see a tower rush from either player. and neither of them throwing up a barracks or anything like that. So no drushes incoming, and Vodka's starting to wall off his map, which certainly suggests to me that he'll try for more of a fast castle approach. And I think if we were going to see scouts, then both players would have picked up by this point. Let's have a look at Dogao's scouting. You can see that managed to find his second goal, but not his third one for now. But he's gone over to have a look at Vodka's base. Has seen some of the walling that started to come up. He's got pretty good vision and a pretty good idea of how Vodka's base is laid out. Has probably seen that it's much more enclosed at the front than his own map is. Although Dogao could obviously also do some walls further forward. Meanwhile, Vodka hasn't headed out to go and find Dogao yet. He's actually docked the middle, which is quite interesting. I was saying that you could definitely make use of some of the clusters of shorefish if you found a nice one. There's a good one here, and a good one here actually. But you could equally spend quite a long time looking on this map and not find a really nice dock placement. But Vodka certainly has done. With 5 fishing ships as well, that's quite a sort of like intense Dark Age fish boom, if you like. And that's going to be a kind of difference in approach between the two players. Vodka's obviously going to have a little bit of extra food coming in through the mid game, and we'll see if that works to his advantage. Vodka also heading on to stone and gold actually, so I wonder if by stone he wants to probably add stone walls, or maybe think about increasing number of TCs in conjunction with stone walls quite early. It feels like he's started to mine stone a little too late for it to be anything like an instantaneous castle drop when he gets to the Castle Age. Slight difference in population numbers that they've gone up on as well. 2 villages difference between the two players. Vodka going up on 2 villages higher, but in addition to that, Vodka does also have the 6 fishing ships, so it seems like Vodka's going for a very kind of economic oriented approach and wants to have that like strength of economy kicking in once he reaches the Castle Age. But Dogao just going a little bit faster, perhaps with a slightly more traditional fast castle build, whilst Vodka's just boomed it up a little bit more. See the problem with building too many fishing ships on this map, with it only being shorefish. Quite a lot of them could be, well, shorefish plus the narrow channel of water. Quite a lot of your fishing ships could be very vulnerable if they stray too close to the shore, if any ranged units come to the middle area. Yeah, I'd say that Mongols definitely are the stronger late game civilization, but Spanish are very strong too. I wouldn't describe them as a weak late game civilization by any means. So I think both players would have a good chance in the Imperial Age, and this is a map with quite a lot of resources if you can find them. There are extra gold and stone piles spread out a long way from the players' bases, so it's very much about map vision and map control as well. You could lose quite a bit of your base on this map, and as long as you kind of manage to get villagers into different areas and set up separate economies in different places, you could survive even while losing a lot of ground on this map. See, Dogao is aware of Vodka's fishing ships, and he's gone for a dock in the middle, and he's going to be up to the Castle Age probably about a minute faster, so he could be thinking about a fire ship or two just to deny Vodka from having that fish boot for any longer. And meanwhile, Dogao is on a stable blacksmith fast castle build, so it'd be interesting to see what he does with that. He might be thinking about producing some knights to go aggressive when he hits the Castle Age, but obviously he will come up against these walls, so might have difficulty getting in. Meanwhile, Vodka with blacksmith and market, so that in combination with having gone up 2 villages higher and made all those fishing ships means that he's purely focused on economy for now. Vodka's trying to delay this house building of Dogao, try and get him housed perhaps. But Dogao has 6 population room anyway, so that isn't going to happen. And obviously he's not producing villages at this point because he was on his way to the Castle Age. So, Horse Collar coming in for Vodka, Dogao reaching the Castle Age, with Vodka going to be there about 30 seconds later. Let's check the stable of Dogao to see what he's doing with that. Making a camel, so more like camel defense than knight offense from him. And one galley did come out for Vodka, but Dogao is already on the fire ship approach, and he's immediately going to go and head south in that river and try and hunt down those fishing ships, which Vodka is running away with for now, but you can't run forever. Eventually they will get pressed up against the edge of the map. Bit confused why you wrote resign in the chat. Dogao with 1 town centre for now. In fact, no, 2 additional town centres and mining a lot of stone as well. Actually, no, he's retasking those villages. I thought he was going for maybe a 4th town centre or a castle, considering he was going somewhat heavily onto stone there. But Vodka actually did manage to get enough stone in the bank for a castle, and I think that could be good because Dogao isn't walled at the moment, and it would take a lot of effort to wall this entire map. So Conquistadors would be a very viable raiding unit on this map, and I think he's chosen a good place for the castle as well. It's going to help protect the main gold. It's going to give the Conquistadors safe access out of his base pretty much without having to open his walls too much. Meanwhile, the fire ship battle is going on in the middle of the map. Vodka has 2 fire ships here to take down Dogao's single one there, but Dogao has 2 more that seem to have taken down probably the galley of Vodka that was sitting here. But for now, Vodka still has fishing ships. He still has 4 as far as I can tell, and he may be able to protect them at this rate. First Conquistadors coming out for Vodka. He's going to probably start immediately moving out onto Dogao's side of the map. But for now, it seems like Dogao is just going to defend with a couple of camels and focus on his boom. He's already on 3 town centres and 8 villages ahead of Vodka, who put down that castle first. So given that he was collecting stone a little bit more, wasn't able to throw up town centres quite as quickly. And yeah, just throwing up his second one now. Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted there. See, Vodka is coming onto the left side of the map with his Conquistadors, so going to be raiding from that direction. Not sure how effective these camels will be at shooing away Conquistadors once the Conks have massed up a little bit. Obviously the Conks will probably prefer to hit and run rather than take a stand up fight against the camels, but the camels won't be able to necessarily actually chase them down and kill them. Meanwhile, fire ship skirmishing still coming in the middle of the map. Doesn't look like Dogao's produced any more. He's still got the 2, but cleverly he's actually luring away all 3 of Vodka's and bringing in this one that he's had hidden in the southern corner for now, and that could mean that all of these fishing ships actually go down for Vodka by the time Vodka comes back. But no, he spotted it. He wasn't too preoccupied with this, and he hasn't fallen for Dogao's little ploy as much as he could have done. Looks like Dogao could pick up a fishing ship, but perhaps not too much more. Yeah, I normally stream with the music smartly this, because YouTube doesn't mute it. Slow the game down. It seems I'm running up against the host time a little bit too much. So that first raiding for Vodka is coming in now. He's had those conks for a while, but he's been a little bit preoccupied on water. But starting to do effective raiding. Camels are a little bit out of position, and he's able to pick up a couple of villages. Those camels did manage to catch up to the conks for now. It seems they move slightly faster, which I wasn't actually aware of. So that's actually not a bad choice to defend actually. I didn't realise there was a difference in movement speed between the two. You learn something every day. But for now, the middle water fight seems to have fizzled out a little bit in terms of the numbers that are there. Vodka's still only on 3, well, has been whittled down to 3 fishing ships now. Camels fighting fire ships, you don't see that every day, but the guy's still actually interested in taking out these fishing ships, continue to expend resources on taking them down. Let's have a look if Vodka's managed to get up onto 3 town centres. Yeah, he has. So production is going to be matching Dogao's unless Dogao's on 4 for now. Let's just check that. 1, 2, 3. No, it seems he's just about thinking about putting up his 4th. But we're seeing a very kind of boom oriented game with a little bit of skirmishing both on the water and on the land, but both players recognising that this is more of a Imperial Age map and certainly aiming for that kind of well, that kind of late game scenario. Difference in villages between the two players has grown though. Vodka is now 14 villages behind Dogao and obviously no longer has that fish boom really. Interesting to see what he's got in that dock. Is he going to go for another demo? No, another fire ship. I say another demo, I didn't actually see it myself. I must have just flicked away at the wrong time, but somebody was saying in the chat that there seemed to be a demo ship. You can see that the camels have caught up to the Conquistadors. The Conquistadors taking a nice spot in the corner of that forest, but the camels are still wrapping around them pretty well, and I think that's a very nice fight for Dogao there, managing to take down all the Conquistadors at a loss of just, I think, a single camel. Okay, a couple of them taken down to extremely low HP, but I think that worked well in his favour, even if it had been an even trade, which it wasn't. It was a good trade for him, because so long as he keeps Conquistadors out of his eco, he's got the much better eco at this point. 17 villages the difference between the two players, and up to 4 TCs now, whilst Vodka remains on just about building the 4th actually. Yeah, as Richard is pointing out in the chat, Dogao is probably winning this on both counts at the moment, because he's just taken a really nice fight on military terms, forced Vodka to replace his Conquistadors, which we can see moving out here, but he's also gone ahead in eco and he's winning the fight on the water as well, so pretty much Dogao winning on 3 fronts at this point. Building a castle to try and take control of this middle area, it will secure this extra gold mine, as well as kind of gain some map control over the middle route between the two players, and also the water in case Vodka carries on being a nuisance on the water. But I feel like both players will probably not commit too much to the water from now on. Quite a number of the shorefish have been fished out, and it will. The water ends up being like an interesting diversion on this map, but really it's very much a land-based approach. See the 5 conks for Vodka moving in now. We'll be able to pick up quite a nice number of villages actually on this gold mine, but the camels are here, and as I just found out anyway, they're not the same movement speed. The camels are faster, and they could end up having yet another good trap for Dogao on the conks. This time though, there's 1 or 2 more conks in there, and they're taking a nice hill bonus as well, which means the camels not quite as effective, and they're actually all going down this time. So Vodka will be able to continue his raiding whilst he goes to the Imperial Age himself. He's clicked up on 80 villages, which is a much smaller economy than Dogao has at the moment, and Dogao also choosing to hang around in the Castle Age for just a moment longer. I shouldn't think it'll be too long before he goes up, but let's just check those resources. Yeah, he's got the resources to click up anytime now, and he's actually finished that castle, so the buildings are there. Going on stables, so we could see he could be thinking about some cavaliers potentially, or he could be wanting to add more camels to defend against impending cavaliers or more conquistadors from Vodka, or he could just be thinking about Mongol Hussar raiding as well, to go with the Mangudai that he'll probably look to add at some point. Vodka once again making good use of this hill, but this time he's finally going to get cleaned up. But I'd say these conks have certainly been very valuable, picking up a decent number of villages as Vodka as Dogao looked to transition to the Imperial Age and idling some economy, killing a decent number of camels as well. But Dogao still retains that economic advantage. It's actually stretched again to 22 villages, and Dogao with his second castle. So. And that one's in the back of his base, which is really kind of signalling his intent to go into that Mangudai production, because if you're going to go for the Mangudai approach, normally like you might have 1 or 2 forward castles, but you don't want all your castles forward, and some defensive castles so that you're placing like a high priority on retaining those castles and so that you can continue Mangudai production. But yeah, continuing, some three stables drop down actually. Meanwhile, Vodka's built a forward castle, so we're going to see a war over these shallows, I think. Don't know if he's going to just go with the conk approach for now, or whether he's adding anything else. I can't see other military structures at this point. He's creating conquistadors from one castle and a trebuchet from the other one, though. And with his Imperial Age time being quite a bit better than Dogao's, he's actually going to be able to seize the initiative in the Treb War for the middle. Archery range is going up for Vodka as well, so he could either be thinking about skirmishes or hand cannoneers. I didn't see if he got chemistry at this point, but there's no +1 attack on his castle, so still lacking the chemistry upgrade for hand cannoneers if that's what he chooses to do. So Vodka is beginning to treb down that castle, actually producing a second trebuchet, so I think that castle will probably go down at some point unless Dogao comes over to repair it, but that's what he's doing. 6 villagers coming, so that'll be able to keep the castle up for a while longer. His response, as well as the siege workshop in the back, I want to know if he's been producing Mangudai from that back castle as he goes up. He's actually got a number stockpiled. And he's also got 6 in the forward castle as well, so decent number of Mangudai produced thus far. His camels are starting to spread out and just gain information about where some of the other resources are on the map, and maybe perhaps checking that Vodka hasn't spread out himself. But for now, Dogao is just going to continue repairing that castle. Seems like it's going down a little bit faster than it's being repaired, so he'll have to bring more villagers over if he wants to keep that up. But it's just buying him time to mass Mangudai, and also throwing down another 2 additional siege workshops to make that 3, researching capped ram, and he's also buying himself some time to get in those upgrades. Elite Mangudai now being done, and capped ram, so he's transitioning into the very powerful late game kind of Mangudai and siege army that the Mongols have. This could be a good fight for Vodka in the meantime, though, if he brings in those skirmishes and conquistadors. The problem is that the Mangudai are starting to get pretty nasty looking with their upgrades, so he couldn't really take that fight straight up, certainly not without the skirms there. But Vodka's doing good in terms of gaining ground now. From here he'll probably be able to start either pushing through this into Dogao's base, or starting to threaten this other gold mine as well. Dogao is mining over here though with another castle, so that's going to replace that Mangudai production that he lost. He's also getting Parthian tactics, and he's got elite Mangudai now, of course. And I think once that chemistry comes in for Dogao, his Mangudai, elite Mangudai, will be fully upgraded, and at that point they are of course a very fearsome unit. 4 trebuchets for Vodka though, so if he's able to kind of get in range of some of Dogao's other castles, he'll be able to take them down very fast. Dogao has 6 rams stockpiled up and producing more, which is an excellent counter of course to Vodka's army. Conquistadors and elite skirmishers do not fare very well against siege rams, which are now being done for Dogao, sorry. I don't think Dogao has drill at this point to make the rams move much faster, the Mongol unique technology. I wonder if Vodka manages to treb down the one that has siege ram being done in it. It's a very good possibility that could happen. Honor good done for Vodka. to help take care of the rams, but Vodka's trebs are unpacked, so they're not going to fire at the siege workshop that is doing siege ram, and that's pretty unfortunate for him. Of course he couldn't have known that, but it would have been very nice for him if he delayed that siege ram research by another minute or two. Onega's a good response by Vodka to the siege rams and the Mangudai. Obviously they fare very well against both of those units as long as they don't get caught out by the Mangudai, which have that bonus against siege. But now a lot of siege rams moving out for Dogao. He can't really get them all to attack the castle at this point. It's the siege workshop button's there, but now he's cleared the blockage and that castle's going to go down so quickly, you would think. And meanwhile, Dogao losing a fair number of Mangudai actually to these skirmishes. I think Vodka's microing these really well, targeting, and I don't, he's taken down one forward castle, but there's quite a lot of Mangudai to lose in doing that, and he's also lost probably half a dozen siege rams there. So the loss of the castle, of course, is crucial for Vodka, but Dogao did expend a lot in getting rid of that. So I don't think that was a very favourable fight for Dogao, even if he does clear some ground and probably let him get back onto this third gold shortly if he's able to push it back. Just want to have a look what else Vodka's preparing, because I haven't looked back at his production for a while. He's continuing his skirmishes and onegas, of course. Doesn't seem like he's making too many conks anymore, but dropping stables and researching light cavalry, so probably thinking about some raiding, and more so maybe hussars as a meat shield to his army as well, and also to help deal with the siege rams perhaps. Meanwhile, Dogao is starting to move around the map and find all of the different resources that he can. I mentioned that there are a lot of resources on this map if you can find them, and obviously if Vodka finds all these villages, then they're going to be dead pretty much. It's very risky to go out there and not build TCs, at least you would think, but there are a lot of resources on this map, and in a situation where Mongols have a lot of resources, that is very dangerous. And Dogao is actually mining so much extra stone that it doesn't matter that he's lost a castle 2 at this point. He's on 3, I think, right now, but he'll be able to build more. He could have actually got the stone for another one. And obviously having lots of castles, great for a Mongol player, able to keep up that Mangudai production. Dogao with iron casting and Hussarden now, so he's going to be using that to potentially raid the economy, but for now it's also to soak up some fire from the skirmishers and perhaps run out there and snipe some of those onegas. It's kind of hard to see how this fight is going now. I almost wish I'd turned team colours on at this point, but I think Hussars making the difference for Dogao actually. Tanking a lot of that fire, obviously Mongol Hussars with the extra hit points as well. And those siege rams with drill are going to chase after the onegas, getting in amongst all the skirmishers as well and forcing Vodka to either micro or watches or his skirmishers fire away at those rams. Decent onega shots coming in from Vodka though, although he could have hit that massive Mangudai a little bit better. Nonetheless, this castle is at risk from those siege rams racing on by.
Thank you, you wonderful man.
Yeah, the Vils are tanking. Just checking, Vodka does actually have supremacy, but this is getting so messy. I'm actually going to switch team colours on because I'm struggling to tell the difference between the yellow and grey, so it's probably even worse for you on the stream. We've got Vodka in red and Dogao in blue now. Hopefully that's not too much of a jarring switch for you. The castle is on 2,000 plus hit points, being repaired, and the siege rams taken down by those villagers as well. And I think Vodka is holding this fight actually. He's taken down so many siege rams. The issue for him though is that most of what he has left is light cavalry, not even hussars, with few upgrades as well, and skirmishers. And as we said before, Dogao does have the resources to keep producing his stronger units. And although Vodka was looking like he was going to hold for a moment, the Mangudai kept coming in, the hussars kept coming in, and Vodka didn't have. He was mainly relying on trash, but he didn't have Hussar done, didn't have the upgrades, and he didn't have firepower there. He had a lot of units mixed in that kind of looked like they were going to hold for a bit, but yeah, just lacking the firepower. Doesn't have the strong units in the back like the Mangudai. And I'd say that's a really kind of comprehensive thing for victory for Dogao actually. As we were saying earlier, he's winning on the military and the economic front. He also got some Mangudai into the base of Vodka towards the end. I did miss those whilst the game was live because I was concentrating on showing you this pivotal fight here. But Yeah, great performance by Dogao. That means we're going to see Vodka's home map, which is going to be Dunes. Just going to show you that Dogao with the extra resources, just slightly better boom. Of course, he went onto the extra town centres much faster and retained a villager lead throughout the game.